Quit being a chicken. Just cover your lawn with sand and level it. Trust me, you'll be glad you did. Welcome back to Budget Lawns, y'all. I appreciate you being here. If it's your first time, I hope we'll see you more often. If you're subscribed already, thank you. Leave me a thumbs up and a comment down below. All that stuff helps out the channel so much. Last summer, I did a complete guide to a level lawn with sand playlist. I'll leave it linked down below if you want lots of other details. But you're going to get everything from those 4 videos all in this one. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, I'm going to leave all the fluff out. And you can take everything I say with a grain of salt. There are a lot of ways to level a lawn with sand. This is just the way I do it. I've done it this way twice now. And the next time I do it, I will do it with this exact same process. First question everybody asks, when should I level my lawn with sand? You should do it during your grass's growing season. If you have cool season grass, that would be in the spring. If you have warm season grass, that would be in the summer. You just want to make sure your grass is growing very vigorously so it will recover faster and be fully recovered before the off season. I've got Bermuda grass. I will do mine in the warm, hot months of June or July. And I will pick a time in the forecast where there's not any rain because I don't want to risk washing off any of the sand. Another popular question, what equipment should I use? You can use whatever equipment works best for you. You can use wheelbarrows, gorilla carts, pickle buckets and shovels, garden rakes, landscape rakes, lawn leveling rakes, drag mats, a push broom from your garage. For me, I use pickle buckets and shovels. I use a garden rake. I've got a DIY lawn leveling rake that I made. I'll leave a link for it down below to show you how I did that. And I've got a drag mat. But before I do anything with sand, my first step in the whole process is to fertilize the lawn. A few days early, I will get the fertilizer applied to the lawn and watered in and activated. That way it will just kickstart some growth. So when the sand's put on it, it will start growing up through the sand faster. You can use whatever fertilizer you want. I will go with a synthetic quick release 1010. But again, it's what works best for you. Now, a few days after that, I'll come back for the next step, and it will be to scalp the lawn as low as I can go and bag the clippings. The reason I will scalp the lawn is it makes it easier to identify the low spots and to work the sand down into the turf. Once I've got it scalped, the next obvious thing is to have sand delivered or go get it and put it on the lawn. So why sand, you might ask? Why not sand and compost? Why not just compost? Why not topsoil? Why not a combination of any of those? Well, I do not want to or am not interested in adding any nutritional value to the lawn. I am merely just trying to smooth out the bumps and make it flatter. And sand is the best one for the job. How much? Safe answer, no more than 1/2 inch in any one spot. Bold answer, 1.5 to 2 inches. But that all really depends on what turf you have. I have Bermuda. It likes to grow through sand. It can tolerate it, so just know what your turf type can tolerate. General rule of thumb, every 1,000 square feet, 1 yard of sand. It's time to rock and roll at this point. Get the sand on the lawn, doesn't matter how you do it. I will just pile it up in pretty even piles all across it. Once I've got them piled up, I'll take a garden rake and just start busting those piles over. That will just make it easier for when it comes time to drag my mat or use the lawn leveling rake. And once I've got them all knocked over, it's time to just start using the leveling rake or the drag mat going in all different directions for as long as I have to until I really don't see much more sand and I see more grass than I do sand. So I'll do that as long as I have to until it's to my liking. And then I'm done with the sand. But we're still not finished yet. We're going to fertilize again. But this time we're not going to fertilize with a synthetic quick release. We're going to use an organic slow release because that first round of fertilizer will give us about 2 weeks worth of action to get us really growing back up through the sand. And then by the time it wears off, we've got that slow release starting to kick in as the lawn is really starting to recover, to just give us that extra little boost to getting fully recovered. After that organic fertilization, it is time to water. We're going to water a lot. Now, I'm not talking about drown the lawn. I'm not talking about flood it. I'm just talking about keeping the sand and the grass wet. For the first week, I will water every single day. Week 2, I will water every other day. And by week 3, I will be back on to my regular watering schedule of 1 inch of water per week. Well, what about mowing, you might ask? Well, I will not mow after putting the sand on the lawn for really about 10 days. And when I finally get that first mow in, it will be with a rotary mower, and I'm only going to take off the tips. I'm not trying to take off a whole lot. And I'm going to mow that way for several times every 4 days or so. Because at this point, all I'm trying to do is stimulate a little bit more lateral growth after the grass has grown up through the sand. And then once I'm really not seeing much more sand at all, and I'm seeing mainly green again, and things are pretty much looking normal, at about that point, that's when I'll get the reel mower back out. I just don't want to jump the gun on that because the sand is not good on the blades of the reel. It can really dull things down. So a little patience goes a long way into protecting your equipment. But really, by about a month into it, you should be pretty much back to your normal lawn care routine of mowing, edging, and blowing. Now, I know this seems overwhelming. I know it's kind of scary, but trust me, it's not as daunting as you may think, and you will be so glad you did it. Every second spent and penny spent will be so worth it when you are out there enjoying the mow on a much smoother lawn. And just a word of caution, once you've done this once, it's going to get a little addicting and you're going to want to keep adding sand to make it even better. But for me, I think once a year is plenty enough, and then over time, as you keep adding sand every season, before you know it, you will have that tabletop smooth lawn you have always wanted. Okay, my friends, I hope that helps you out. I hope it gives you the encouragement and motivation you need to finally get over the hump to leveling your lawn with sand. I think you'll be so glad you did. I really appreciate you being here and watching this, and I hope you will come back to join me next time.